I lost my big tech job a couple weeks ago, and I've been debating about going back to corporate versus pursuing content creation full time. Financial stability versus risky passion, but why do I have to choose one? Let's talk about how structural economic conditions box us into these difficult choices. In one of my favorite films, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Evelyn Wong is a Chinese-American immigrant running a failing laundromat with her husband while being audited by the IRS. She gets in trouble for writing off her hobbies as business expenses. What is this, Sesame? And is faced with the crushing reality that the things she loves don't actually count as work. The multiverse shows her every version of herself that made a different choice. The movie star, the kung fu master, every life she didn't live because she ended up choosing the safer, more traditional path. Albeit, it was also for love, but that's beside the point. The safe path isn't really safe anymore either. The job market is meh, we're kind of in the middle of a war, so if neither path is guaranteed, why do we prefer one over the other? I love you, but you're getting hair all over me. Cultural theorist Mark Fisher called this the privatization of stress. The way systemic failures get reframed as personal ones. The housing crisis, wage stagnation, the lack of any safety net for employment. These aren't necessarily market forces operating in a vacuum, but rather policy choices made by our elected officials. By design, precarity keeps people compliant. Fisher also wrote about something he called reflexive impotence, where knowing things are broken but feeling too overwhelmed to do anything about it. Foucault argues that disciplinary power doesn't need laws or force to work. It just needs people scared and exhausted enough to self-regulate. A financially precarious population is much easier to control after all. When you're stressed about rent, food, and gas, you're not really able to demand anything else. You're in survival mode, just like Evelyn Wong. Too overwhelmed by the audit, the laundromat, the receipts, the failing marriage, to imagine any other version of her life, that is until the giant bagel shows up. My point is, these things are fixable and we have the power to vote to do so. It's not that voting is going to fix everything, but rather not voting is going to keep the people making these policy decisions exactly where they are, and thus ultimately keeping us exactly where we are. Asian Texans are the fastest growing voter eligible population in Texas. The conditions you're living under, the conditions making that choice between stability and your dreams feel impossible, is shaped by people who are put into office by voters like us. You could check your voter registration status in the link in my bio. It just takes like 2 minutes. Anyways, I'm gonna go step into another universe where